Hello everyone, welcome to Wellness by Degrees. Today we're going to do a full body flow that incorporates a lot of fun yoga poses and some balance. Let's get started. So as usual, we'll start out in mountain pose. So take a look at your feet. You want the middle toes pointing forward. You can have 4 to 6 inches between the feet, whatever's comfortable. You don't want them wider than hip distance apart. We're going to press into the feet, having the legs draw back, roll the shoulders back. You should have some room behind you and the back of the chair. Let the hands rest onto the tops of the legs. Draw the chest forward, and you might put a slight tuck in the chin. From here, become aware of the breath. If you usually breathe through the mouth, play with breathing through the nose. Deep inhales and full exhales. As we breathe, we'll begin to deepen the breath. Picture the spine lengthening. Imagine that you can balance something on the crown of your head. You might draw the neck back just a little if it's not too uncomfortable for you. You're welcome to close the eyes here if you'd like. If it's more comfortable for you, you're welcome to face palms up on the legs, in the lap, or allowing the hands to fall down to either side. Taking a couple more breaths here. If the eyes are closed, you can allow them to open. Bring the hands back to the legs. You might even draw them out towards the knees. Hinging slightly forward at the waist. On the inhale, we're going to lift through the chest, arching the spine, moving into our cat-cows. And exhale, round the spine, pushing into the hands and tucking the chin. We'll move through a couple of these at your own pace. Just make sure to connect the movement with the breath. Inhaling and coming up. And exhaling back down. Do 3 or 4 more of these. Allowing yourself to move at your own pace. If it's uncomfortable for the chin to lift, just look forward as you arch the spine. After you've finished your rotation, come back to center. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. On the next inhale, look over to the right, keeping the chin level. Take a couple breaths here. Come as far as is comfortable, where you feel a stretch but you're not feeling any pain. Allow yourself to sit here for a moment into that stretch. And then if it's comfortable, you can bring the head down while still looking over to that right side. Take a couple deep breaths here. Inhale, let's bring the head back up. And exhale, come back to center, moving to the other side. Inhale, turn the chin, turn the head, keeping the chin level. Take several breaths here at a point where you feel a stretch but don't feel pain. And if you want, you can tuck the chin as you're still on that left side. Taking a couple more breaths here, getting a slightly different stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, back to center. Great job. Inhale and exhale, drop the hands to the sides. Inhale, lift the arms up, flip the palms, and then come as high as your arms will allow. You might stay here. Chin might raise. You might bring the palms together. Exhale, let's fold forward. Either setting the hands above the knees or reaching down towards those toes. Inhale, look forward, you might come halfway up. And exhale, fold back down. Inhale, let's roll through the spine, coming all the way up. Arms might come above the head. And exhale, drop the arms back down. Great job. Inhale, let's bring the arms forward, palms facing each other. You could stay here or you can come all the way up. And exhale, twist to the right, dropping one hand behind you and one over to the leg. You can lean into the twist as far as you want, or you can stay mostly forward, just depending on your body. Take a couple breaths here. And exhale, let's lift the arms back up, wherever you came to before. And exhale, moving to the opposite side. Remember, this twist can be as little or as deep as you'd like it to be. You might even keep both hands forward, that's okay as well. If you can't breathe, you know you've gone too far. Again, you can keep your head to the side or you can look behind you, whatever works for your body. Inhale, let's bring both arms back up. And exhale, let them fall down by your sides. On the next inhale, we're going to stretch the feet out in front of us, pressing the heel into the ground while we try to point the toes up towards the ceiling. You can grab the sides of your chair for support if you want, or you can rest your hands on your legs. You might move forward in your chair in order to do this. So this is going to be a version of Dandasana, or staff pose. We want the legs to straighten if possible, engaging through those leg muscles. You can hang on to the side of the chair, or if you want a deeper sensation, you can bring the hands behind you, fingers pointing toward your body, and press into the palms. You might lift the chest slightly. You might tuck the chin. Take a couple breaths here. If there's any discomfort or if this isn't accessible to you at the moment, You can adjust. You might only move one leg at a time, so straighten one leg while the other is bent, and then switch legs. Trying to keep the spine long, not rounded. If you feel like the circulation's being cut off anywhere, just relax through that area. And exhale, let's bring the arms back if they're, or forward again if they're back, and step the feet back into mountain pose. Take an inhale and an exhale. We'll move into a seated version of tree pose. So we'll bring left leg in towards the middle, and right leg, we're bringing the sole of the foot either to the side of the left foot, we can cross it over, or for fullest version of the pose, you can bring it up above the knee, keeping that right foot flexed, pressing that knee down, and then with the hands you can come to heart center, breathing here, or you can start to work the hands above the head to whatever level you want. Arms can stay bent, or you can begin to straighten while dropping the shoulders back. Wherever you are, allow yourself to breathe, and while we're sitting in a more relaxed state, we're also trying to hinge forward at the hips and draw the chest forward. So lifting our posture. We want this to be a very active pose, not a passive pose. If you want to play with the gaze, you might lift it slightly, looking up towards the sky. And breathe. Exhale, let the hands come down if they're up. And everyone, let's bring the leg back to mountain. Moving to the other side, bring that right foot in towards the middle, left foot, sole of the foot comes to the side, crosses over or lifts, keeping that ankle strong and the foot flexed. Find your area of comfort. If you're up here, allow the knee to drop out. And when you feel steady, bring hands to heart center, allowing yourself to breathe. You can look forward, gaze might lift, and arms might lift for more of a challenge. Remember, you can keep the elbows bent here. You might straighten up, trying to drop the shoulders down at the same time. Allow yourself to breathe. And then once you've found the pose, as you breathe into it, you might draw the chest forward. This is strengthening the muscles in the back and allowing us to lengthen through the spine. Remember, you can adapt the pose or change your position at any time. And exhale, let's bring the arms back down if they're up. And let's come back into our mountain pose wherever we came to. Inhale and exhale. We'll start to step the feet out to either side, pressing them into the ground so that we're almost, it's as if we're trying to lift ourselves off the chair. Hands can come to heart center, or they can come out, elbows lifted, hands up to the sides. This is our goddess pose. So press into the feet, head can stay forward, or if you want, you can look over to one side. Take a couple breaths here. Either way, we're breathing through this pose as we hold it, and then if you were at one side, come over to the other side. And back to center. If you were turning your head, take another inhale and another exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Let's bring the arms out and exhale, bring them down to the knees. We're going to hinge forward at the hips and press the right shoulder down. If you feel a little off balance here or uncomfortable leaning forward here, you can scoot back in your chair a little bit further so you feel steady. Or you can bring the legs in slightly so that you have better balance here. Taking a couple breaths. If you want an added stretch or sensation, you can bring the chin up. Maybe lift the gaze towards the sky on this side. And come back to center. And up. Taking an inhale, prepare. And exhale, leaning forward, hinging at the hips, not rounding through the spine. We'll bring the left shoulder down. You can stay here, you can adjust as needed, or if you want an added challenge, you can bring the gaze back and up. It doesn't have to be really extreme, just go as deep as you'd like. Taking a couple breaths here. Inhale, coming back up, and exhale. Let's step the feet in, moving over to the right side. So the whole body will turn to the right. You can hang on to the back of your chair for balance, and we're going to slide that left hip slightly off the chair and move into a warrior one. So level 1, you might just be here, lifting the heel. Level 2, heel comes up towards the sky as toes press into the ground. And level 3, you straighten out the leg behind you. The front leg will stay nice and strong with the knees stacked over the ankle and toes pointing forward. From here, you're welcome to bring one hand to heart center or straight up above you. Or if you feel steady and balanced, you can bring both hands to heart center, or both hands can reach up above you. Allow yourself to breathe into the pose, dropping the shoulder blades back, concentrating the gaze on one spot, engaging the muscles. Your legs should be doing a lot of the work here. You should be trying to draw the chest over that right knee so that it is in line with your leg. Great job. Exhale, bring the hands down, and we'll bring that leg back in, moving to warrior 2. So warrior 2 will open the legs slightly. We can do it a little bit deeper, or again with the foot flat, we can press the leg all the way back, straightening the knee. And with hands, you're welcome to keep them heart center. You can open them up with the arms bent, or you can open the chest towards the front of the room, open one hand forward as the other comes back. The hips should open here as well. So hips and chest are opening towards the front of the room as your right foot points towards the side. Arms can do whatever is comfortable for you. Allowing yourself to breathe. It's as if you're pulling yourself in two opposite directions. Gaze looking towards that right hand. If your hand is up. If not, you're looking towards the right side of the room. Exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips. You can even put your hands on your waist as you do this. We're going to rest the right elbow onto the right leg. You can keep your opposite hand on your waist, or if you want, you can stretch it straight up above you, or while turning the palm of the hand to the back and bringing the thumb up, you can stretch out the arm in a diagonal above the head. So this is an extended side angle. Allow yourself to breathe here. Really press into the feet evenly. Engage those leg muscles. And use your core. You want to be lifting through the abs, not just trying to hold yourself up with your arm. If you want, you might play with the gaze by looking down towards your feet, or you can look up towards your arm if either of those is comfortable for you. Let's take a couple more breaths here. You're welcome to change the arms at any time, or come up and come back down. Inhale, let's lift that arm, coming all the way back up. And exhale, let's walk that foot wherever it was, back over to the right side. Coming back to center, mountain pose. Take an inhale and an exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. From here, moving over to the left. So walk both feet around to the left side. Take a grip on the back of that chair and allow that right hip to fall off the side of the chair while still being able to balance. From here, we'll move into the warrior one on the opposite side. So level 1, you just lift the heel slightly of that right leg. Level 2, heel comes up as toes press into the ground. And level 3, you're straightening that leg back. While we do this, we might use one hand to go heart center or all the way up above us. Opposite hand can stay on the chair for balance, or we can play with using both arms. Taking deep, full breaths, drawing the shoulders back and down. Trying to lift through the pelvis as we press both feet into the ground evenly. Adjusting the arms as needed, adjusting the legs as needed. Maybe we want to try something a little deeper, or maybe we want to do one of the less intense versions of the pose. Wherever you are, let the hands come down and let the leg come back over to that left side, moving into warrior 2. So you can open slightly, a little bit wider, or you can draw that leg all the way back. Hand options are flexible as well. Heart center. You might keep the wrists and elbows bent as you start to open the hips and the shoulders, or straightening all the way out. No matter what you're doing with the arms and legs, the gaze comes over to that left side. Allowing yourself to breathe into the pose, pressing evenly through the feet so that the muscles in the legs engage. Adjusting as needed so that you can continue to breathe and you're not feeling pain. Inhale, and on the next exhale, we're going to bring that left arm down. Right arm can come to the waist. It might come straight up above us, or while bringing the palm to face back, thumb up, it might come at a diagonal above the head, moving into that extended side angle. Play with the gaze. You might look down, forward, or up, depending on what's most comfortable for your neck. Making sure that you're still breathing here, making sure that your balance is steady. Inhale, let's bring up that arm and then come up all the way. Exhale, bring that leg over to the left. Inhale, let's come back to our mountain pose. And exhale, stay. From here, let's move into a couple standing poses. So we're going to get up differently than we have before. We're going to try to move into a chair pose. So I want you to put your hands at your waist, hinge forward at the hips. You might step the feet in slightly in order to have the balance to stand up without assistance from the hands if possible. You're welcome to use the hands if you need to. So we're going to draw the chest forward, hinge at the hips, and then press into the feet evenly and push forward first and then up. So we're going to stay here for a minute with bended knees. If you want, you can start to draw the hands forward. You can also bring the hands up, or you can keep hands on the waist. Taking a couple breaths here, trying not to let the knees fall in. Sometimes we'll let the knees fall in, but we want to keep a little bit of distance between those legs so that we're really working the muscles here. You can gaze down in front of you, slightly forward, or you can gaze up. Taking a couple more breaths. Then on the next inhale, rise all the way up and bend those knees, shake it out. Drop the hands by the sides and come to the back of your chair. So you will want space behind the back of the chair. You can turn it if you'd like, or if you have enough space behind you, you can just walk behind it. We'll start out with a downward dog, just to stretch us out a bit. Option for downward dog, if stretching the arms out in front of you so that they come above the shoulders is not an option for you, you can always do this first downward dog with the hands on the chair so that there's not as much stress in the shoulders. So putting the hands on the back of the chair or on the seat of the chair, we'll just start walking back. Again, we're hinging at the hips, trying to keep the spine long here. Come back as far as you go until you feel a nice stretch. You might feel it through the backs of the legs, through the shoulders, just in the spine. We're dropping the chest forward, keeping the head level with the arms, or just level with the spine. We don't want the head to drop forward or back. It's okay to keep the legs, the knees slightly bent here. That's also an option. And wherever you are, allow yourself to really relax into this stretch and breathe. Finding the position that works for your body. You might step the feet a little bit wider apart. If that helps, you might bring them in more narrowly. Usually, you want a little bit of space between the feet. Wherever you are, start to straighten the legs. You might walk in a little bit. Make sure you have a good grip on the chair or good balance if your hands are down. We're going to bring one leg up. So you might be at a square angle, or your back might be slightly up. Sorry, that didn't make a lot of sense. But we're going to try to balance. So if you need to step in a little bit and bend the knees, that's okay. We're going to first hover the right foot and then swing it back, keeping the hips squared off. It's okay if you're just a couple inches from the ground, but you can lift it as high as you're comfortable. Make sure you don't lock that standing leg. If you have a slight bend in the knee, that's okay. And exhale, bring that leg back down. Drop the chest. And take a couple deep breaths. And then inhale. You might come up slightly, keep a slight bend in the knees. First hover the left foot and then slide it back. You might be a couple inches off the ground, or you might go higher, trying to keep those hips squared off. Gaze looks straight down. You can come out of this at any time slowly if you're feeling dizzy or off balanced. Allow yourself to keep breathing here. If you're holding your breath, bring both legs down and bend the knees slightly. And exhale, let's bring that leg down. Take a deep inhale and full exhale. From here, slowly walk the feet back in. Don't come up all at once. And come back into a standing pose. You might keep the eyes opened or closed. And take a couple deep breaths here. From here, starting with the right foot, we're going to bring the foot back so just the toes are touching, and then you might lift the foot. If you want, you can bring the right hand around the back, grab the ankle, and then try to draw that foot in towards the hip. So this can be a nice balance, or it can be a nice stretch depending on how far you can go. This is also a great place to use a strap if you don't have the flexibility at this point to grab the foot. Be aware of that standing knee, root down through the foot, but keep a slight bend in the standing knee so that it's not locked out. Gaze forward. If you feel really steady here and want to play with the balance, you're welcome to bring that other hand off the chair, maybe just hovering, maybe bringing it out in front of you. Breathing steadily here. Remembering that the breath is the most important part. If you can't breathe, then you need to try something different. And exhale. If your hand is up, bring it down, and then slowly release that foot. Shake out the standing leg and move to the other side. So first, bringing that left foot back so the toes on the ground. If you're comfortable here, start to lift off. If it's in your practice, reach around and grab the top of the foot or the ankle. You can also put a strap around and hold that strap, getting a stretch through the front of the leg. Looking forward, hold here and breathe. Make sure you're not locking that standing knee. If you feel really steady, you might hover the hand that's holding the chair. Or you might start to stretch it out in front of you. here. If the hand is up, bring it down, and then slowly release that leg from wherever it is. Shake out the standing leg, and we'll move into some forward balances. So allow yourself a foot to a foot and a half from the chair. You can also hang on to a wall here, or a door, or whatever else you have. We're going to start with the right leg. So bring the knee forward first, and then lifting off the ground, maybe a couple of inches, bringing the weight into the standing leg. So you might hover for a minute so that the weight comes over the standing leg, moving the center of gravity. And then lift the knee as high as you're comfortable, up to the point where you might wrap the right hand around the right knee. Looking forward, rooting through the standing leg, trying to keep the hips even and squared off. Taking a couple deep breaths here. It's okay if you fall out of it, just try again. We're really engaging through all the muscles in the leg. Each of them is helping each other out. And then we'll start to open that leg to the side. So away from the body, and hold just a little bit longer, maintaining the breath, playing with the balance. You might feel the standing leg start to tire. That's okay, just do the best you can. If you're on the floor still, if you're just working on lifting that leg, but the toes are touching, that's okay. Just still draw it out to the side. And then on the exhale, bring it back to center. If you're holding around it, let go and try to keep it at the same height. If you're not, we're still trying to keep it the same height, just a little bit longer. And exhale, let's bring it down. Shake out the standing leg. Great job. You might even do a modified downward dog if you want in between. Just stretching out the body. You might pedal through the legs here, or you can pedal through the legs standing straight up. That's also an option. And then if you're doing the downward dog, you can walk yourself back in. Bring the center of gravity over to the right side this time, and begin to lift that left leg. So toes might still be touching. That's a great place to be if that's where you're comfortable. You might lift slightly off a couple inches. You might lift a little higher, or you might bring the leg all the way up and wrap the hand around the lifted leg. Keeping that leg forward at first, we're breathing. Trying to draw the shoulders back. This is a long time to stay up in balance, so it's okay if you need to adjust or need to come down and go back up. Make sure that you can maintain your deep breaths. And then bring the leg out to the side, wherever you are. Continuing to root through the standing leg. Trying to maintain the height that you have. And when you're ready, let's come back to center. Take a couple more breaths here. And then let go of the leg while trying to maintain the height. This is our last push. Continuing to breathe. One more. And exhale, let's drop the leg down. Shake it out. Option to stay upright and continue to pedal the legs, or option to press into a downward dog. If you're in downward dog, take a couple deep breaths here. You can still pedal the legs while in downward dog. And if you're in downward dog, let's walk back up. If not, take a couple more breaths. And return to a seated pose. Allow your legs to relax. We still want to be in mountain pose, but we aren't as engaged. While still sitting up nice and tall through the spine, we're allowing the shoulders to relax down. We might keep the chin level, or we might drop it down towards the chest, leaning slightly forward. You can close the eyes here. We're going to breathe together for a short time. So when you're ready, exhale all the air out, and then take an inhale together, and exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own. You can take deep breaths like we've been doing, or you can allow the breath to begin to relax. Taking a couple more breaths on your own. Eyes can be opened or closed. And when you're ready, allow yourself to slide back into your chair so that you can rest the spine onto the back of the chair. Remember, we're still trying to keep the spine long, but we're not putting effort into holding ourselves up anymore. Feet can relax. Hands are welcome to go to the area that's most comfortable for you. They might be in heart center, they might be down by the sides, palms up in the lap, or just resting on the legs. You can allow the chin to tuck slightly. Allow the breathing to slow and return to normal. Wherever you are, begin a mental scan of yourself. Bring awareness to how you were feeling when you began this practice and where you are now, mentally, physically, emotionally. Bring awareness to the feet. As you breathe, allow them to relax and release any tension they might be holding. Be aware of the shins and the calves, allowing them to relax and release. The knees, the thighs, relaxing through the hips and the pelvis, allowing the abs and core to relax, letting the spine relax and release, allowing the chest and the shoulders to relax, letting relaxation come through the arms and hands, allowing the neck to relax, relaxing through the jaw and the tongue, letting the eyes relax, and allowing the whole body to come into a state of relaxation. Eyes can be opened or closed here, whatever you prefer for the end of your practice. Doing what's best for your body. If that means that there's something that needs to be stretched, you're welcome to do that now. If you'd just like to sit here for a minute breathing, you're welcome to. If it's more comfortable to have the eyes open, that's always an option. Just being aware of what you need in this moment. As we come to a close, begin to wake up your body. You might bring movement into the fingers and toes. You might bring movement into the joints. Maybe shake stuff out a little bit. Maybe do one final stretch. And eventually make your way back into a nice mountain pose. Bringing hands into heart center. Take one last deep breath. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this practice, like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time.